Immigrating to another country is often seen as a way to find better opportunities or a fresh start. However, not every nation is open to welcoming immigrants, with some countries actively restricting entry or implementing strict policies to deter newcomers. Whether it's due to political, economic, or social reasons, these nations have become increasingly difficult for foreigners to settle in. Today, we're counting down the top 10 countries where immigrants are not allowed in 2024 and 2025. These places highlight the challenges of global migration and the barriers people face.
And before we get started,
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more engaging content. Let's get started. Japan. Japan, one of the world's most technologically advanced nations, also has one of the most stringent immigration policies. With a population of about 125 million, Japan has long been reluctant to open its borders to immigrants, despite facing a serious demographic crisis with a rapidly aging population. Japan is a beautiful country steeped in culture and tradition, known for its cutting-edge technology and vibrant cities like Tokyo. Yet, despite its global appeal, Japan remains one of the hardest countries for immigrants to permanently settle. This is due in part to the country's cultural desire to preserve homogeneity, as well as strict immigration policies. Even though Japan's population is declining, with projections showing that by 2050 it could decrease by 20%, the government has yet to fully embrace immigration as a solution. Japan is known for maintaining its strong cultural identity, and this plays a significant role in its immigration policies. There's a long-standing societal belief that Japan's homogeneous population is key to preserving its unique culture and societal structure. This mindset has shaped immigration laws that prioritize short-term work visas and make long-term residency, and particularly citizenship, a rare achievement. Interestingly, Japan is facing a major demographic challenge with one of the oldest populations in the world and a declining birth rate. Economists argue that the country needs immigrants to fill the labor gap, especially in sectors like healthcare and technology. However, immigration policies remain tightly controlled. The technical intern training program, while allowing foreign workers to stay for a few years, does not lead to long-term residency or citizenship for most. Despite its need for workers, Japan remains one of the least accessible countries for immigrants hoping to settle down for the long term, with policies aimed at preserving cultural homogeneity over embracing foreign workers. Number 9. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia plays a significant role on the world stage due to its oil wealth and strategic location in the Middle East. However, its immigration policies reflect a clear distinction between foreign workers and citizens, making it nearly impossible for immigrants to gain permanent residency. Saudi Arabia is home to millions of foreign workers, yet it is nearly impossible for those workers to gain citizenship or permanent residency. The country's strict laws reflect a clear distinction between those who are temporary workers and native citizens. Saudi Arabia's economy relies heavily on foreign workers, particularly in sectors like construction, healthcare, and domestic services. In fact, expats make up about 38% of the country's total population. However, Saudi Arabia's kafala sponsorship system keeps these workers in temporary roles without the option of becoming permanent residents. Even those who have lived in the country for decades can find it extremely difficult, if not impossible, to gain citizenship. Saudi Arabia has a highly conservative society, rooted in Islamic traditions. Many of the country's laws reflect these cultural values, and immigration policies are designed to maintain societal norms and demographics. For instance, citizenship is typically granted only to those who are born to a Saudi father, making it nearly impossible for foreigners to become citizens. Saudi Arabia's reliance on foreign labor does not extend to welcoming immigrants as permanent residents. For those who work in the country, it's clear that while there are job opportunities, there is little hope of ever settling down for good. Number 8. Bhutan. Bhutan, nestled in the Himalayas, is known for its focus on gross national happiness and environmental preservation. This tiny kingdom has implemented strict immigration policies to protect its culture and environment. Tucked away in the Himalayas, Bhutan is known for its stunning landscapes and its unique philosophy of gross national happiness. However, Bhutan is also fiercely protective of its cultural identity and natural environment, making it one of the most difficult countries to immigrate to. Bhutan's government places a strong emphasis on preserving its Buddhist culture and pristine environment. Immigration is tightly controlled, and there are virtually no pathways to citizenship for foreigners. The government limits the number of tourists who can enter each year to avoid over-tourism, and this philosophy extends to immigration as well. Long-term residency for foreigners is exceedingly rare and reserved primarily for highly skilled professionals. But even then, citizenship is off the table. Bhutan's focus on gross national happiness, rather than purely economic growth, is reflected in its immigration policy. The country prioritizes the well-being of its citizens and views immigration as potentially disruptive to its carefully maintained balance of culture, spirituality, and nature. For those seeking permanent residency or citizenship, Bhutan is an almost impossible destination. The country's focus on preserving its cultural heritage and environment ensures that it remains one of the hardest places to immigrate to. Number 7. Vatican City. Vatican City, the smallest independent state in the world, is home to the Pope and the headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church. With a population of fewer than 1,000 people, Vatican City has no formal immigration system. As the smallest independent state in the world, Vatican City is home to the Pope and the heart of the Roman Catholic Church. While millions of people visit the Vatican every year, it's not a place where people can simply move and settle down. Vatican City's population is made up almost entirely of clergy, members of the Swiss Guard, and laypeople who work directly for the Church. Citizenship is only granted to those who serve the Holy See and is revoked once their employment ends. This means that there are no opportunities for immigration in the traditional sense. Vatican City operates under a unique legal framework that is centered around the Catholic Church. As such, it doesn't have the same immigration or residency laws as other countries. Its primary role is religious, and its population reflects this. For those who dream of living in Vatican City, the reality is that unless you're serving the Pope or the Catholic Church directly, there's no path to immigration or residency in this tiny state. Number 6. North Korea. North Korea is infamous for being one of the most closed-off nations in the world. The country's authoritarian government, led by the Kim family, has maintained strict control over who can enter and leave the country for decades. North Korea is one of the most secretive and isolated countries in the world, known for its authoritarian regime and strict control over its population. Immigration to North Korea is virtually unheard of, and the country maintains tight control over who enters and leaves its borders. North Korea's isolationist policies are rooted in its political ideology, which emphasizes self-reliance and independence from foreign influence. The country's leadership has historically been wary of foreigners and has implemented strict measures to control immigration and tourism. Even for those who visit North Korea, interactions with the local population are heavily monitored, and long-term residency is not an option. The North Korean government tightly controls every aspect of life within its borders, including the movement of people. Foreigners who work in North Korea, such as diplomats or humanitarian workers, are subject to intense scrutiny, and their stay is usually temporary and heavily regulated. North Korea's closed-off nature and strict government control make it one of the most unwelcoming countries for immigrants. For those hoping to settle there, the door is firmly shut. Number 5. Liechtenstein. Despite its picturesque landscapes and high standard of living, Liechtenstein has one of the most restrictive immigration policies in Europe. This small, wealthy principality nestled between Switzerland and Austria maintains a tight grip on who can live within its borders. With a population of just under 40,000 people and an area of only 160 square kilometers, Liechtenstein's immigration policies are designed to protect its small size. The government tightly regulates immigration to prevent overpopulation and preserve the country's unique character. Only a limited number of foreign nationals are granted residency each year, and citizenship is extremely difficult to obtain. Residency permits are granted sparingly, and most foreigners who work in Liechtenstein choose to commute from neighboring Switzerland or Austria. Even for those who obtain residency, gaining citizenship is a long and complicated process that often involves living in the country for decades and gaining approval from local authorities. For those dreaming of settling in a peaceful European principality, Liechtenstein remains a difficult option due to its strict immigration policies and limited residency opportunities. Number 4. Kuwait. Kuwait, like many of its Gulf neighbors, relies heavily on foreign workers, yet offers very limited paths to permanent residency or citizenship. While the country is home to a large expat population, The government makes a clear distinction between Kuwaiti citizens and foreign workers. Foreign workers make up about 70% of Kuwait's population, but citizenship is reserved almost exclusively for those born to Kuwaiti parents. Expats are often employed in industries like oil, construction, and domestic work, but they are not given the same rights as Kuwaiti citizens. Long-term residency is possible, but comes with limitations, and citizenship is almost impossible to achieve for foreigners. Kuwait operates under the kafala system, similar to Saudi Arabia, where foreign workers must have a local sponsor. This system places significant control in the hands of employers and makes it difficult for workers to gain independence, let alone settle permanently. While Kuwait offers plenty of job opportunities for expats, its strict immigration and citizenship policies make it nearly impossible for foreigners to call Kuwait home for the long term. Number 3. Monaco. Monaco, the tiny principality on the French Riviera, is famous for its luxury, tax benefits, and glitzy lifestyle. It's a haven for the ultra-rich and celebrities, but when it comes to settling down there, Monaco's immigration policies make it challenging for most people. Despite being one of the most densely populated countries in the world, Monaco restricts who can live there permanently. Monaco offers residency primarily to the wealthy. To gain residency, applicants must demonstrate significant financial resources, often requiring a substantial investment in real estate or a deposit of several million euros in a local bank. While the country doesn't have a formal immigrant bloc, the high financial thresholds make it inaccessible to most people. Gaining citizenship in Monaco is even more difficult. It requires living in the country for at least 10 years, and even then, applicants must receive approval directly from the Prince of Monaco. As a result, only a handful of people gain citizenship each year. Monaco's strict residency requirements and exclusivity make it one of the most difficult countries for ordinary immigrants to settle. While it's a dream destination for the world's elite, the barriers are too high for the average person. Number 2. China. China is one of the world's most populous countries and has a booming economy. Yet, despite its size and global presence, China is one of the most difficult countries for immigrants to gain permanent residency. The Chinese government maintains strict controls on immigration, largely due to concerns about maintaining social order and economic stability. While China welcomes foreign workers on temporary visas, such as those in education or technology, the transition to permanent residency or citizenship is extremely rare. The Chinese Green Card, which grants permanent residency, is one of the hardest to obtain. As of 2019, only a few foreign nationals had received the Chinese Green Card since its inception in 2004, compared to millions of people who hold green cards in countries like the US. Another factor contributing to the difficulties of immigration in China is the cultural barrier. The Chinese government promotes national unity and social cohesion, and this often means a reluctance to integrate large numbers of foreigners into the fabric of society. Language barriers, strict laws, and limited pathways to citizenship make it a challenging destination for long-term immigration. Although China offers plenty of job opportunities for foreign workers, especially in industries like technology and education, the door to permanent residency and citizenship remains tightly closed for most immigrants. Number 1. Switzerland. Switzerland, known for its neutrality and prosperity, is also one of the most difficult countries for immigrants to call home. Although it is home to a significant expatriate population, Switzerland has one of the most complex and restrictive immigration processes in Europe. Switzerland is known for its high quality of life, stunning landscapes, and strong economy. However, despite being a desirable destination for people from all over the world, Switzerland has some of the most restrictive immigration policies in Europe. Its focus on preserving its unique culture and balancing immigration levels with economic needs has led to strict controls on who can live in the country long term. Switzerland offers residency permits, but they are limited and often tied to employment. Obtaining a permanent residence permit typically requires living in Switzerland for several years, and even then, it's subject to the approval of local authorities. Gaining Swiss citizenship is even more challenging, with applicants needing to live in the country for 10 years, demonstrate integration into Swiss society, and pass stringent language and cultural tests. Switzerland's unique political system allows local municipalities to have a significant say in immigration matters. In some areas, residents can even vote on whether or not to approve someone's citizenship application. This means that cultural and community integration is essential for anyone hoping to become a Swiss citizen. Switzerland's strict immigration policies reflect its desire to maintain social cohesion and protect its economy. While the country offers many benefits to residents, gaining the right to live there permanently, let alone become a citizen, is a long and arduous process. From the closed borders of North Korea to the exclusive residency in Monaco, the countries on this list demonstrate just how difficult immigration can be in certain parts of the world. Whether it's due to cultural preservation, political reasons, or economic concerns, these nations have set up significant barriers that make it nearly impossible for outsiders to settle down. Have you ever been to any of these countries? Or do you know of others where immigration is strictly controlled? Let us know in the comments. What do you think about countries that limit immigration? Do they have the right to protect their borders? Or should they open up to more global diversity? We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest content. We'll be back with more fascinating insights into countries around the world. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.